Hey everybody, welcome to Chris Anderson Comics. I am back for the second time. I'm lucky enough to have James Edward Clark on as a guest. James, how you doing, man?
Not bad. Thanks for having me back.
Oh
Appreciate it.
man, I'm excited. You're one of my favorite cartoonists, artists. I don't know what you call it because you are really seriously like this singular vision. I don't know. I can't compare you to anybody else. You got your own thing going on, and it's friggin' brilliant. So I'm just so happy to have you back.
Oh, thank
We're going to talk about your new book, Evil, today that has a Kickstarter campaign, right?
you. Evil
Right.
Comic. It's going to be a 180-page full color graphic novel. This is a book I started in the mid 2010s while I was working in a factory, and by the time I finished it, people started giving me money to draw their books. There you go, and it just got sidetracked. That's how I ended up drawing, Tales to Enlighten, and then I did my own book last year called Piss and Apocalypse, and now I'm finally, after all these years, swooping back around and getting Evil Comics finally into print with your help, I hope.
Man, that is a trip that you started this so long ago because is it, I mean, technically, I guess would you say that
This
is
is
it
my
your first
first book.
comic?
This is my first book, I say.
That's crazy. That's crazy because you come in fully formed, which
Well,
is
the thing is also like during the lockdowns, I had all I managed to get printed originally was the first 3 issues.
yeah.
And then I had like over 100 pages of unreleased material. And during the lockdowns, like my first lockdown project was I would start posting every panel of Evil backwards from the end, just so I could get that 100 pages out somewhere, like out on, you think back then it seemed like the end of the world. So it
Sure.
really seemed like, why be precious about it? Just get it out there. So through that process, I ended up like redrawing basically the whole thing. There's like very few pages of the original draft, let's call it,
I see.
Evil in this version. And then I went and finished Pissant because I had already started that. And this seems a lot more manageable to deal with.
Well, I mean, so the first thing that I think people saw you do was the 80 pages that you did for.
I think that was like 175. This is, or 160 something page
Yeah,
for
the
Tales of
Tales.
the Lion with
Yeah.
Max King there.
Love Matt. This book was absolutely bonkers, and yeah, this was my first exposure. I mean, I think I followed you on Instagram or something before this came out, but this is my first exposure to your work.
Well, that's the first thing that got printed. That's the first thing I ever
Right.
got, like first major work into print. Like I just put out these little self-published, I think this one's like 25 pages or something, 24
Yeah.
pages. And just self-published. Like there was only a couple hundred of each, and it would have been like a regional thing just in Southern Ontario. You'd have to
Right.
be, or go to a convention, or just order it online. Like have to be following me. So very limited exposure for this series originally, but
Right.
it's a lot.
Well,
It's yeah.
well, then after that, you came on the show and we did a whole episode. People can go back and check it out. I'll put a link to it in the show notes too, if that's helpful for anybody. But the next book was Piss and Apocalypse, and last time you were on here, we just had a PDF of it to take a look at because
Now you got the real thing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's great. I'm really really happy with the printing and everything. Looks beautiful, and we haven't gone through the process of getting it printed. It's no longer like a daunting thing like to get a trade paperback done. Now it's like I just go with my buddy Ricky, shout out to Ricky Lima, and give him the files and he makes the PDF for me, and he's like real into printing. He's a master at it, and he did a great job.
it did. It turned out so great, and then I love the size of it because I just held it up against like a standard size comic.
Yeah, this is like a tankobon size because originally,
Yeah,
like they were printed kind of as mini comics, and like my
yeah,
distribution model was, if you got a commission for me, I would throw one of these in with it, right?
yeah.
And that's how I got like 5 issues basically funded and like managed to float my lifestyle the whole time because it was like during lockdown, I was just cranking out, maybe 5, 6 commissions a day, literally, like $50 a pop, but it's $50 American. You had 30% on that. I think at the peak it was $50 American, was like 70 Canadian. And then, I was just doing that like 7 days a week for months and months on end. And that's how
Yeah.
I got this ant like all of these done.
Right.
We'll just like work on this on the side. And then, yeah, by the end, I had a whole another book, and it just seemed more manageable to print, that book, because it'd just be smaller and easier to ship, and just go through the process once before I try Evil, which it was going to be like a regular size trade paperback, 6.625 by 10.25 inch.
Right. So this will be standard size.
Yeah, this will be standard size. It's
Okay.
too much of a pain to reformat it all now.
Yeah.
Like the third time I've gone through it, like, let's get it done. I'll deal with it.
I was happy to see Piss and Apocalypse turn out so great in the size
It's
that it
beautiful.
did, because my Three-Headed Pigman book is going to be, roughly about that size. So
Yeah, no,
it feels good in the hand.
well, it's just the tankobon size, right?
Yeah,
The Japanese mangas, and that's what kids like today anyway. So
that's
like, why
right.
do this other format? Especially if your model of distribution is, I'm going to mail these out to people, right? You better the smaller the smaller they are, the better. And like, you want to cut down on the size and the weight. That's just make your life easier. Especially like
Exactly.
me, because I live in Canada, I gotta get these things across the border somehow, right?
For so many reasons, it's better.
Yeah.
Um, well, let's take a look at Evil.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously it's not in physical form yet. So you were kind enough to send me this
Oh, that's
PDF,
the rough
early
draft
PDF.
too. That's not even the finished draft.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
this isn't even what the end product that people will get.
No, I've made like some real improvements over this draft. There's like backgrounds missing in this version and stuff. So just yeah,
Awesome.
I actually put a little essay. Yeah, there it is.
Oh wow, let's pull it up here. Oh yeah, that's great, man. Is that
Yeah.
marker or is that
This is
paint?
Bende dies. These are
Oh
dies.
wow.
He's a master. He's the guy who runs all the life drawing sessions that I go to.
Ah.
We had the one session. There was a terrible snowstorm. I was the only one that trudged all the way across town. The model couldn't even make it out. Nobody else was there but me and him, so we ended up just drawing each other. And he did this. And it's really nice. And
That's amazing.
yeah, it's been on my wall for years now. And yeah, it's actually my Facebook profile and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I do life drawing classes at William Stout's studio, and one time the model didn't come up. The first time I ever went there, and all of a sudden here's this like 70-some-year-old man. He's like, "Well, I guess I'm getting up and doing it." He just whips off his shirt, and here we are all drawing William Stout.
We had like issues with some guy who was like an exhibitionist. He just showed up and wanted to model, but like we already had a model. It's like, no, we'll go sit. I'll sit right next to him. And that was like the busiest session we ever had. We had them like almost around the corner trying to draw the model, look over each other's shoulder, and then this guy who's like big, fat, almost Harvey Weinstein looking guy wanted to strip down and stand, model next to the other model, who thankfully was a guy. And he was pissed, you could tell, but he didn't want to. Everybody was just like, I went up for like to get a coffee, and I came back down, and like there was another naked man, like much larger, fatter, smellier naked man next to the model we already had. And I just kind of looked around, and everybody was just like, I don't know.
It's
And we just sat there and drew him, and they just left at the end. And it was
mass nudist hysteria.
I had literally no idea. Like, I thought like maybe there was a conversation happened, because I had left the room for a little
That
bit.
is so funny.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta know how to draw all kinds of people. So
Yeah, even the homeless apparently. Actually, he was in like a full suit too. He was like dressed to impress. I don't know.
oh man.
It was crazy. Yeah. That was
What
experiment.
are you using for the? Are you did you find like?
Yeah, it's just like a paper texture I like uploaded or something.
Yeah, do you have like a few different ones, or do you use the same one every time?
A couple different ones. And I try and remember to flip them and stuff.
Yeah.
I think when you print them, all the detail kind of gets washed out of the bit, so it doesn't even really matter.
That is true. I mean, it does add some sort of texture to it, but
It's just you want some texture in the background. Yeah, that's just that was the back of issue 1, I remember.
oh,
I made
okay.
stickers out of these too. So it's
Man,
just like
I love this face so much.
yeah, I forget what that's from. I think the other one's a vampire movie. I think that's Lon Chaney as Dracula. You ever see like Dracula's Daughter or something where like Lon Chaney is Dracula?
Oh yeah.
Lon Chaney Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so this is the cover. Sorry, YouTube. Oh, that's the page 1 right there.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to blur it out. I had my Japan Book Hunter
Yeah, maybe just cut
issue
it.
taken out of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bit.
I just want to just like skip ahead a bit. We'll just flip through pages. Yeah, so it's basically about this masked luchador wrestler. His girlfriend gets kidnapped by these Satanists, and now he's got to track him down before midnight when they plan to sacrifice her to demons, open a portal of hell upon the earth. So
Okay, already before we even get into the story, I've got to get to the questions that I need to ask when they pop into my head, or I'm gonna forget them. So what like where did you get it in your head to do this, like this partial color hold and offsetting, that you do with your coloring? Because I don't see it anywhere else, and it makes it look like you're painted on wood or something like this. It does this strange thing. It's brilliant.
Yeah, the color hold thing was something I developed, like this new latest version of this evil. I've kind of like more embraced it. So you'll flip through it and you'll see like it kind of like there, like you don't really see the color hold because this was the second draft. I didn't need to update this, right?
Right.
So there you go. Again, that's a black, right?
Yeah.
So it's just sort of a technique. Like I just leaned more and more into color holds. I just eventually got into the head that like the skin looks better as a color hold, like a red color hold, makes it look warm and kind of soft, and complements like the fleshy texture better, fleshy colors.
When you are inking, because you do this traditionally, right?
Yeah, like I usually use kind of like one of these pilot pens right here, like a number 4.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Pens. Yeah, the Tech G Pilot G Tech C4.
Is that just like a ball, like a roller ball pen?
No, maybe, yeah, I guess it is, but a very fine one, and it's very sharp. Like I used to ink everything with like nibs and uh dip pen.
Yeah.
But they're just, this is kind of like, this is sharp, so you get the same kind of feeling like you're carving into it.
Sure.
And the thing, I guess I just got lazy and cheap, so these last longer. I can ink anywhere, but I do go over it with like Indian ink. I use this like real busted up kind of calligraphy Japanese to do the rest of the inking. And I've literally had this for like probably 10, 12 years, the same one. And if it gets split, I just shave it down more, which makes it even better for those fine lines. So, yeah, you don't need the fancy brushes, I say, but I'm too lazy to like clean them properly. I'm just real bad.
I always forget.
I will ruin them. So, might as well just learn how to ink well with a shitty brush, I guess.
This thing you do where you like cut into the black line, is that just you just use like
a little white out? It's like a white pen, but you can see it. We have a preview here. You can see like.
Let me cut it. Let me cut that up. Pull that up.
Yeah, yeah. You can see like the spittle, right?
Yes.
Like that's all white out, right?
Okay.
And I do like kind of the outline stuff. You go over and get like the outline.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's just go over it multiple times. You do the fine lines first and try to build out as much as you can. Then you go over with the big inky brush, and then you touch it up with white out, and you touch it up more in Photoshop, and then you color it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. So you got this luchador guy. This gun, it's a
fire pistol.
I'm sorry?
The fire pistol.
It is a fire pistol. Okay, because I wasn't sure. I think I might have missed
the dialogue there. He explains what it is. That's
okay, that's what it is.
The old version of it. Like there's mountains in the background, that bottom one in the corner and stuff. There's more background stuff.
Right.
This is rough. This was like the first draft. It was kind of presentable, but this is not the finished draft.
Right.
I've sent you the new one. So he goes and meets his girlfriend again. More backgrounds missing. You can skip the sex scene. But somehow they don't notice that there's a blimp outside this Space Thunder Death Cult branded.
Yeah. I love this. Your character designs are always just like on point, man. I love this guy. This weird like
skull face demon. Yeah,
this weird mouth thing that he's got going on. Like
he's like demon, but he's like kind of based on old luchadors like oh, I can't remember their names, but you know, the luchadors in like the full body suit, Juice and Thunder Liger or somebody like that.
Right.
But he's actually like supposed to be a demon. And they explain the whole curse that they're trying to activate and open a portal to hell.
Right.
This evil space thunder death cult.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're
And
coming to kidnap her.
yeah, because they go at midnight. Like there's a whole like again the backgrounds are all missing on these. Yeah, so at midnight there's a prophecy. They'll sacrifice their demons and open a portal to hell, and this was beneficial to them for some reason because they're Satanists and evil. More
Right.
news. Sorry about that. You gotta have to cut
Cool.
around this stuff.
You don't have to apologize. I can do it. Deal with it.
All right. So yeah, so he's on the chase. The whole rest of the book. Well, no, there's sort of some diversions too, like flashbacks to pan the thing out. It's the first thing I ever wrote, so maybe the structure is a little awkward, but it works more like when you're reading in issues. I think if you kind of like think about it from that perspective. So yeah, he gets chased down by this motorcycle gang of skeletons.
Yeah, they got this 666 on their thing, and then each motorcycle has a 6 on it.
Yeah, and you got the primary colors there.
Yeah, that's great.
They're all color coded.
Yeah, so your color choices are so interesting too. Like
I use a very limited palette. Like a lot of my sort of color choices and the offsets and everything I do, trying to mimic like old timey printing because I like my stuff looks better flat because I do a lot of rendering in the line. Mm-hmm. And if you try and like do a bunch of digital rendering on top of that, it just clashes. I just like it flat just so you can see like what I'm drawing. It doesn't overpower it.
Right. So you find out that his girlfriend's father is he's
the professor and the chief of police.
Yes.
So, yeah.
As you are.
Yeah, and he's in contact. Like I've redone this page completely in the final version.
Okay.
And then, it just gives the backstory of the villains here. This is what's his name? I've changed it a couple times over the years. I think it's Tedros Van Davos.
Yes. Yes,
Tedros Van Davos, our villain. We get his horrifying backstory. A lot of it's actually based on a real guy named John of God. You should look up that guy. I don't want you to get you a flag, so you have to go out buy the book and read it. It's like a really messed up backstory, but it's based on a real guy named John of God, who was actually on Oprah. Oprah, like, look up John of God and then look up the video he did with Oprah. Like, she flew down and did like an 1.5-hour special at this guy's compound, and then you learn about the stuff he did.
He's like a Colonel Kurtz Apocalypse Now character, huh?
He's like a faith healer. He would like put his hands to people and like pull cancer out of stuff allegedly. But that was all just a front for like this really horrendous human trafficking operation he had. And it's like the most brutal thing you ever heard. And I recreated here in this book as his backstory. So if you read it and you're disturbed, like just know like that's real, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see here, there's my little Oprah caricature. And then yeah, and then he's like, this is him as the faith healer preacher. And he's like, you got the little kids with the snakes, and they're all he's curing the blind there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And meanwhile, like the idea for this scene is you got a car chase and you get all the exposition of the backstory at the same time. So it's an exposition bump, but we're moving, we got action, so it's interesting, and like the backstory is super crazy, and just that was my thing because I hate like big exposition dumps in books. Like a Scott Steiner's book, there's always like 5 pages where it's just like bricks of text, and it's just like the artist just had to like make a collage of his stuff. I hate that.
Right.
I wanted to do that, but like a fun version. A lot of this is just like, me trying to do a fun version of stuff I don't think works. Like the whole idea of doing the Luchador character is based off of, I don't know if you're familiar with the old El Santo movies. Like,
I love them.
Yeah. Like Mystery Science Theater has done a couple at this point. And that was my first exposure to him. And then I found out there's literally dozens and dozens and dozens of those movies over decades.
Yeah.
And they are all just fucking terrible. Just unwatchable dreck. Just shit. So I want to do like a fun version of it that works. Because it's like, you got a mass luchador in these films. He's fighting werewolves. He's fighting vampires, aliens. But it's just like so boring. And like, how do you make that boring? And, I got no budget. I can do whatever I want. So, seemed like a good jumping off point. The whole thing just blew out of proportion. And here we are years later, and I'm finally trying to put it to rest.
I mean, those are sometimes the best paths to follow.
Yeah, so this is him after escaping the jungle. Like, he was found out for his human trafficking ring. So now he's kind of this Spengoli kind of anti-LaVey character, doing these mock rituals for these elites behind the scenes, and this is how he's funded the Space Thunder Death cult, and he's going to bring about this apocalypse now, right?
Now here you go. We get into the cult itself. So this is him now.
Yeah, he's sort of aged over the time, right?
Look at this friggin' cast of characters, man. You got
the guy in the corner. He's supposed to be Spring-Heeled Jack, but I never really mentioned it. But yeah,
this one here.
Yeah, that's based on Spring-Heeled Jack.
Oh, I thought it was also like meets Count Chocula.
A little bit, yeah. You got that vibe. He's got like the sharp teeth, but
yeah.
And then you got the redhead there. That's Delilah Jones. She's actually an important plot point.
Yep, she'll come up.
Yeah, you got the big guy in the background.
And he's based off the Riddler, right?
Yeah, he's based off the Riddler, but he's got a backstory too.
Yeah.
And then
I love all these characters.
Yeah, they're just I just came up with just pulled stuff out. It's hard to remember where it all came from, because it came up in years, and like I've revised it and like swapped them out. But I wanted like a big group of like colorful characters so he could kill them all in one go, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole thrust of the 4th issue.
Yeah, you kind of went along that lines with Piss and Apocalypse with the big bosses too, which was really cool. It reminded me of something like
well, it's kind of based off El Topo directly, Piss and Apocalypse. It's like now that I got like this is my 3rd book out, you can start seeing the tropes emerging that I use over.
Yeah. It felt like the Running Man or a Ninja Scroll or something. It's just like on the journey. Yeah, right.
Yeah. If you want to know where I got the inspiration for Piss Sand, watch El Topo.
Yeah.
It's sort of where I ripped off at least the plot, the structure of the thing, right?
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so he crashes his car, and that's the end of the 1st issue. Now we have like a 2-issue digression, 666 days into the past, where we get all the backstory leading up to this. Like, here we got our hero Sammy Destino fighting a werewolf for some reason, but instead of focusing on him, we pull out and we meet this girl.
Right.
This is Dakota Bernard.
Yep. And she feels like something totally different than you normally draw style-wise. And I think because it juxtaposes differently, she stands out as a character,
Yeah, it was like a female character. Like, I guess the idea was this was like 2014. Everyone's like, we need strong female characters. So this was my version of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like ends up being kind of a Sarah Connor type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she starts off kind of low, and she's actually like, she's not talking to her father. What'd you call it? Estranged from her father.
Yep.
But she's in trouble, and she needs to get in contact with him. But he is about to have a wrestling match with Satan himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the world we live in, where washed-up wrestling stars from the 80s fight literal demons and biblical figures. Because,
the hairline on him is great.
Well, he's like Hulk Hogan. The idea of this character was kind of, I was watching a shoot interview with Bobby the Brain, and he was saying, these guys, they're marks for themselves. They start believing their own hype. Like, I'm watching that reality TV show that Hulk Hogan did. And he's talking to his daughter, and he's like, you ain't doing that. You're going to listen to me, or, my name's not Hulk Hogan. And he's just saying there, like, your fucking name is Terry, dude. Like, you're not Hogan. Like, what are you doing, you mark? So it's just sort of that idea.
Yeah.
Sort of like the inspiration initial. So it's sort of like kind of the father-daughter relationship, but strained. And they kind of reconcile here. But it doesn't matter because he's going to go fight Satan anyway. And
she lets him know that she's pregnant and needs him, but the ring is calling. So,
well, he's a mark for himself, and he's works himself up into a shoot and goes and tries to wrestle Satan.
I love this page.
Yeah, that's
totally different from what you normally do.
yeah, that's him in his prime. I wanted to go for kind of a
Yeah.
poster feel. This is like the idealized version of him. And then you got her as a young girl. It's like at it, nipping at his heels, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There he is working himself up, and he goes out there, and then we meet Satan. Next one.
So good.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. And flip to the next one. We see Satan.
Boom.
Boom. There's our
I
version.
love that you have the beast in the belly thing, you know, like classic medieval.
Yeah. He's based off of like old medieval illustrations of what Satan was to look up, kind of crossed with Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah. Big blob with like multiple faces, kind of classic with like mixed with something familiar.
Wrestling and Satan. I mean, you're just like calling out to like most of comics fandom right now. So
I know. I just wanted to make this the funnest book ever. So yeah, he's just talking down. He's going to kill you, Bobby Bernard. What are you doing?
yeah.
We're here with the main event, and we goes out there. This again. This is like I did color this.
This is cool to see. Actually, this is just your line work for it.
Yeah. That's actually from the second draft. I just never got around to coloring it when I was posting it online.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I fixed that now, and filled in those spaces in the background.
Your caricatures and your faces, and I don't know how you stay so. Your style is so tight. You know, it's.
Well, yeah, these I kind of like focus on trying to make them all individual. Like, you know, I try to make every panel count, and when I have a crowd shot, like it's fun to just like spend the time to get each person in the crowd like its own individual thing. Like I'm doing a book now where it's like an amusement park. Like there's a massacre in an amusement park, so I try and draw like every individual patron of the amusement park. So you know, like when they die, they're all like individuals dying, right?
Yeah. When you get to those pages, do you go, "Oh shit, this is going to be all"?
Well, I know it's coming because I pasted it. I do like we're kind of doing a bit of Marvel style here, and we like work out the beats, and then like I kind of like this is what my scripts actually look like when it's like how many pages do I have?
Oh, cool.
All. And it's just like a pacing sheet, right?
Yeah.
Just so I know like how much room we have, all you know.
Yeah, you beat it out like this is what's happening here. Great, gotcha.
Yeah,
like that's kind of how I write too.
Yeah, like I found like that was the best way to go with when I was doing like Piss and Apocalypse,
and
it's worked really well because you can control the pacing and you're not like
exactly
you fit everything you want, you know what to cut and where and like shorten shit and like
you know, like about here in the book you needed to you know crescendo, and about here you need this, and
like these I just went and just did pages. So issue 4 is like 50 pages long.
Yeah, so you're like going back and
I'm trying to like make sense of stuff I did like 10 years ago. I was trying
I've
a lot of times.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so he's just posing there, and then Satan's not coming out. He's calling him out. You're yellow, Satan. Come fight me. And then the flames from hell engulf the entire ring. Everybody in the audience is startled.
So good.
Yeah. And the flame. This is actually from the first version. That's one of the few pages from the first version actually made it into the final.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can see
Steve is still fully formed. You come to a fully formed.
Like you can tell like his figure and everything's different there.
Yeah, he's not as like fat or whatever, but
yeah, like for whatever reason, like the first version, everyone was a lot doughier. I thought that would be funny, but like this third version, everybody's jacked and got like, you know, even when they're supposed to be fat.
Yeah.
They're like fat but muscular. And there you got Satan. Now they yeah, it's a good one.
Damn it, man. You're good. You're good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, and then just he falls into hell. The floor opens up, and it's just sort of a bit of anticlimax. But what'd you expect?
That's great.
But we might not have seen the end of Bobby Bernard or Dakota.
What?
There you go.
So for the issue 3, right?
Yeah. So now we restart the entire thing.
Yeah.
Now we're back. This is 666 days before the beginning of issue 1, but 15 minutes before the beginning of issue 2. That's not confusing enough.
Especially when it doesn't say that.
I did put it in actually. That blank page before. I do This page, like I have, like issue 3 takes place.
Gotcha. And you know what though? I honestly, you didn't need it. Your
I think
audience.
it's funnier though if I do that.
Yeah.
I think people get a kick out of that, and it's an easy page, right?
Yeah, yes, it is that.
And it's also for pacing. You gotta like, I don't have to come
poster shot.
Here's your poster. You introduce Sammy Destino. That's our hero, and he's gonna fight a werewolf for some reason.
That werewolf is awesome. That hair is crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I gone crazy with the design for this.
It's like a sheepdog, man.
For sure, man. No, that was, and this is, I've done multiple drafts now where I've done like redone individual panels like multiple times just to get the hair just right. Crazy. But yeah, so now you're going to have a match where he fights a werewolf. Sammy Destino. They face off.
And actually, so the issue before doesn't it show a little bit of that?
This is at the beginning, the first of issue 1. You see this exact same thing from a different person's perspective. You see it from
and they're like, oh, he's losing, he's getting bit, and he's getting his arm, his arm ripped off. This is gonna be a bloodbath. And then you see the actual fight, right?
Yeah, this is the actual fight here. So they face off. He gets, he's grappling with him.
Yep. Your fights are so much fun, man.
Yeah, no, I've like I said, like this is after multiple drafts, so I really like try to make the action work by the this final draft.
Yeah.
Knocks him across the room, but he gets right back up and right back at it. But he grabs him, bites him by the throat.
Mm-hmm.
But he turns it around, desperation move, bites him right in the fucking eye and rips it out.
He spits it out.
He's like, "Yeah, you like that, you little son of a bitch," and spits it out. And then he grabs him and shoves his arm down the mouth and tells him to start choking on it. And that's how he beats him. He forces his arm down his mouth and makes him.
This is great, where he puts the boot on him. And I love how you turn the audience all this different colors.
Well, actually, I think they're gray in the final version.
Oh, are they?
This is another panel. I had some stuff like the dialogue here. He's like, he's been telling him to choke, and he finally does. He tells him, "Good boy, now roll over."
And then boom,
pulls his heart out, and then he gets in and he starts talking.
This guy too, the announcer, is great.
Yeah, he's based on like an old timey Southern announcer. I forget his name, but I just had a bunch of photos of him. I just liked his look. He was like,
yeah. So do you look at the reference and then do you transfer it, or do you
I just eyeball the reference,
You eyeball it?
Yeah. And like a lot of times, like for Samson especially, like I just need a guy like screaming. Like, I might pose for it, or there might be 7-8 different guys who kind of make faces that work. So like I'll just kind of eyeball the expression. I'm really just trying to capture some unique sort of quality that like makes him an individual, and you can take that from the reference. But like the rest of it, I can just do like the rest of the body. I would just draw out. Like maybe the hands, if the hands are in a weird position.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe I'll pose my hands, or like take a photo. And then it turns out that werewolf was actually his good friend Sheriff Rivera.
Oh man,
damn it! I hate when that happens. I've redone this panel. This panel is a lot more dramatic now.
So when you have the whole cast of the cult, you see it. There's so many characters. I missed initially that she's in there.
She's in there now. I actually went back and put her in. Like she's sort of. I expanded.
She is in the one that you had before, but.
Yeah, like I expanded her role quite a bit from the second draft from the first.
Really?
Yeah, and like those issues, like that fourth issue never came out, so I could do that. I could make like the change, the whole subplot I like introduced right in the middle. Like that's like an addition from the second draft.
I see.
Yeah, so he's despondent. He just murdered his friend, didn't even realize it. Just goes straight over there into his locker. Sorry, Chief. And then the professor from before comes up, but he doesn't have that eye patch from before.
Yes, no, he does not.
And he's not the sheriff of police now. What happened?
Los Angeles. He's just a professor.
He just killed the chief of police. But now this guy, when we saw him last, he was the chief of police. How does that work?
Right.
Get all the backstory here. This is where he meets his love, Maria, who this whole thing is based around. So you find out this night that we keep doubling back on is really the linchpin of the entire story. This is where Satan first, opened the portal to hell, and 666 days later, it's the lunar eclipse, and at midnight, they'll sacrifice Maria to demons. And you find out like their ancestor was the witch hunter general who like killed a bunch of witches for sacrificing babies. But as he was burning the witches, Satan came up from the flames and cursed his lineage. The first female to be born in your family will be the catalyst for the apocalypse, is what Satan tells this ancestor of the professor.
And in the locker room, we keep showing this guy who's sort of
the States Under Death Cult. They have like ears, plants everywhere. This is this is a satanic assassin from the Space Thunder Death Cult, but they didn't realize it. He's just like a preliminary wrestler, right?
Right.
He's like
he comes and jabs him in the eye,
and that's how he got his. That's why he has an eye patch. Later when we see him,
I love when you do faces like this, man.
Yeah, you see there. Yeah, well, we do. He's like, he's explaining, I'm going to need to find a new job. It's like, well, we do need a new chief police or new police.
Yeah.
Because he just killed him.
And
he stabs him in the face, and he's screaming. And he grabs him, and it's like, how dare you interrupt my conversation?
Yeah, just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, meanwhile, like, right over there, Dakota Bernard is reacting to her father being swallowed up into hell. But they have a relationship from before here.
Right.
The implication is like Bobby Bernard and Sammy Destino are old-timey rivals. They've had like, a million matches over the years, and they've sold out stadiums, and like they were the biggest stars at the time. But this is a different time. Now to keep the people's attention, you got to fight literal fucking demons and werewolf shit. Like this is the level of degradation we slip to in the rest of the industry. So here you have, she reacts to, this is Paulie. He's the wrestling promoter. He's a very shady character, and he comes in, he becomes important later on. And here we see Dakota slash his face because for her part in her father being swallowed up into hell by Satan, or his part.
Right.
Okay. I gotta get more caffeinated here. I'm excited. Gotta sell the book.
I love this sort of smash cut that you do here. So when his head hits the ground, we're back.
Now you're in the desert. He just flipped his car.
You're back where we left off, right?
He promised her he'd protect her. He always keeps his promises.
Now this is the piece that you just held up, right?
Just posted this on the campaign this morning. This was for sale. I did the email blast, sold it in minutes. I didn't even have time to send out all of the different emails on my mailing list, right?
Yeah.
I got 3. And just sold out immediately. I got a few more pieces for sale. We can go over that later. But yeah, you gotta get on my mailing list apparently if you want to get those deals for original artwork.
Yeah, because they're still getting snatched up real quick, and you're going to be announcing a few more.
I got a few more pieces to put up. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here's part 4. So this is the one that you had not.
This had never been published. This ended up being over 50 pages long. You'll see like how out of control this whole issue gets. Right. So here we have this character who's based on the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yes.
Which traumatized me as a child.
Yeah.
I love
this Nosferatu image here.
Right, yeah. I love that movie, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, as a movie. Like my grandmother had the VHS, so I literally have seen it dozens and dozens of times.
Yeah, it's creeptastic.
And it's a great movie, like great kind of musical. I actually like it better than Mary Poppins, but Dick Van Dyke kind of musical vehicle.
Right.
For children, but it has like a literal child molester called the child catcher.
Yeah.
Who tracks down children and like you would a dog catcher. And it's just the creepiest, like most obvious pedophile. You watch it back today, it's just really messed up. So I put that here.
Yeah. And it had Benny Hill.
That's right. It was Benny Hill. Yeah. And, kill him horribly because I hate that character.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Rather murder him. And just, so basically the backstory is they need 13 skulls of demons. They sent the child catcher character out to get another skull of the innocent.
Yep.
But our heroes stopped them. So this is the whole spread. It's going to be a double-page spread where you get the introduction of the Space Thunder Death Cult.
I know that guy.
Yeah, there's Uncle Jerk.
Uncle Jerk.
Yeah, I put him in there. That's like this third draft. I made sure I got his character in there. You got Laughing Skull Face Demon. You got Delilah Jones. You got King Megatrip. That's the Skull Face guy. King Megatrip. I put up the original draft of this. I started putting up pictures of the different characters and asking people in my audience, what should I name these characters? And Matt King, who wrote Tales to Enlighten, he suggested that Skullface guy be called King Megatrip. So that's his name.
That's awesome.
You got Tendros Van Davos. You got Pet Lion. You got Dr. 10 with the big X for 10.
Look at that face.
Yeah, I like that character.
Dude.
It's Spring Heel Jack. That guy, what is his name? He's named after, again, that he got his name from his audience suggestion, because I mentioned this guy's a eunuch, so his name's from a Shakespeare character is a eunuch. I mentioned it later. The big fat guy, he's based on like a Japanese death wrestler who just like puts himself through like glass planes and like put nails through his head and shit. It's crazy. Jeez. Yeah. And
this very Coop like devil girl.
Yeah, I just got a devil girl in there for fun. People like devil girls.
These are awesome.
Yeah, so that's like our big spread reveal of the Space Thunder Death Cult. And he's explaining what they're going to do. And they got Maria down in the dungeons now.
Yeah, I love this pacing here too. It's almost manga.
That's turned out really good. Yeah, I like this page. And it's just backgrounds and like I love the staircase there, I think.
I don't even know how to describe your palette. It's not pastel. It's not.
Well, it's very limited palette. I have a very like I'll just mess with opacity. So like you'll have like skin colors. I'll have like the red there for the guy's flesh. I'll turn it down to 50. Then I'll do 75 for the bricks, right? So it's like you have two colors, but they're just different hues of the same thing, and you have the texture below, so you get like an added sort of you have different levels.
But then the way you offset it and then the line work on top of it, it does this strange thing that makes it look like you've painted it and then inked over the top of it. And it's
like I've developed over years. It's just like how I like to work, and like like you say, it's unique. At least
yes, everything about your work is unique.
That's right. Singular vision, as you say.
It's rare. It's hard. It's not an easy thing to do.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. So she prayed to God to save mankind from the apocalypse that the Space Thunder Death Cult are planning to unleash. And her prayers are answered in the form of our hero, Sammy Destino. And he calls out Tendros, and you get everyone's reaction.
Love it.
That's great. Yeah. I think that turned out well. That's another page I had to redo for this third draft. So you get the big face off here. It's like, I heard you guys are looking for 13 skulls. I brought you one.
Yeah, I love it.
And then, Maria sees him down in her cell and screams for help. He runs. Then the big guy comes in. She screams no, but then the other guys come out. Again, there's background missing on this page. They surround him. You get the big shot of them all surrounding him. Yes, like you ask him, is this where you well, I forget what I say, but he tells him you're already dead. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah. So you don't realize it yet. You're already dead. Yeah.
And he's just like,
whatever, kill him.
And then the lion jumps through the air to maul him.
Mm-hmm.
He takes out his fire pistol and sets the lion on fire and throws
over Megatrip.
Yeah, King Megatrip there gets crushed by the lion and explodes. And this whole issue just evolves in this very long graphic fight where he's just like shoving guns into people's mouths and blowing their heads off, kicking people in the balls.
Yeah, this fight's really great.
Kicks people in the head and takes his sword and jams a guy right in the gullet, rips off a guy's nose, spits it on the other guy, sets him on fire. And he pulls out the sword from before, mutilates the other guy.
Mutilate.
That's right. She's like deformed now, screaming in agony. The other guy's screaming out his intestines have fallen off, so he chops his head off. Then Spring Heel Jack jumps up on his spring heels, and he chops him right in half, right through the air. And I just, you want to build up your hero, like really give him a moment to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just completely annihilates, and he just looks badass, and we're having a great time killing everybody. But all of a sudden, he's hit by an arrow, and he knows this bitch, Delilah.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a flashback. I've redone this. The what's going to appear in the book is much better than this. Basically, like, she was in love with Sammy Destino, but it was kind of unrequited, and he ended up going over there with Maria and hooking up with her, and she just went completely mad with jealousy and turned to Satanism, which deal with being passed over for this other woman.
Yeah.
Who he loves. So now she's like pledged her heart to Satan, and he's consummated the deal by shooting the man she loves in the heart.
Anti-Cupid.
Yeah. Well, it's Delilah Jones, right? He's kind of like Samson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's Delilah fucks him over. Oh, Delilah, you bitch. And he's like, good work. Now crucify him. So they nail him up to a wall. And now you're bringing your hero down from the peak.
Yes.
He's been betrayed by a woman, and now he's like, crucified. This is at his lowest point right here. It's like, and he still wants to fight. Tells this guy, like, come closer. Yeah. I'll bite your face. I'll eat your face.
Yeah. Like, why won't he just die? They keep hitting him with this hammer, and he just won't go.
Yeah. And he's, giving like an evil speech about, how they're going to bring hell upon the earth, and it's all over, and there's nothing you can do. And they're all, they just leave him there to die and bleed out. And he's like, got all these arrows, and his face is busted up and nailed to a wall. And then all of a sudden, this girl comes out of nowhere. He knows.
Dead.
That's all you got. And tries to pull him off, and you find out this is Dakota Bernard. Like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, I haven't seen you in years. 666 days, actually. And then we cut back, and they're like, we still don't have enough heads for the ritual. We need 13. We only have 12. And then this guy, Paulie, the wrestling promoter that Dakota slashed his face, shows up out of nowhere, and he's kidnapped Bobby's, Dakota's daughter, Bobby, with an eye. Because remember, she mentioned she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it. This is the kid. And Paulie has come out of nowhere. He heard about the ritual, thought he could get in with the Space Thunder Death Cult, and he wants revenge on Dakota for slashing his fucking face. So he goes over there and kidnaps her daughter and brings him over here for the ritual, and finds out they really need that last skull. So he's set. He's happy with what he's done. Now he's gone out there to gloat about what he's done to Sammy Destino, who's nailed to a fucking wall. He explains the whole thing, not knowing Dakota is there the whole time, hears it all, puts a gun right to his face and blows his head off. You don't fuck with her.
No, you do not.
She's not messing around. And he's just like, get your ass off that wall. Pulls him off the wall.
Ouch.
Like, all right, good work, kid. I'll take it from here. I mean, while he's crawling
with arrows, he's got wooden nails in his hands.
His face is all messed up. Like, his teeth are showing. He doesn't even have
like a beard of blood. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Jeez, where'd you get that thing? Because then, Dakota's like, I'm coming with you, and pulls out an AK-47. Mm-hmm. Where'd you get that thing? It's like, I just watched my father get swallowed up by demons in hell. What kind of responsible mother would arm herself to the teeth after seeing that? He explains, well, it's dangerous. And she's like, I'm coming with you. And the sort of look on her face kind of he sees her father when she's like defiant to him in that moment. And he flashed back to when they were wrestling. You notice, like, he was the whole time we've seen him, he's been missing his tooth. And you see how he lost his tooth. Bobby Bernard headbutted him and knocked his tooth out. And that's one of their many battles he won because of this headbutt, right? So he's like, let's go. So that's how the issue ended. With Dakota and Sammy Destino about to go to war, save Maria.
That's a great cover, man.
Yeah, this is like my icon, all my backup stuff, all my backup channels. I've used this. And this might go, I got to dig it up still. This is like the inside of a sketchbook cover. It's like, cool. So like hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be easy to mail, but yeah, I'll have to dig that up and sell that. We'll see.
Yeah.
So now we flash back to the night before, 666 days earlier, and we see once again the aftermath of the match of Bobby Bernard and Satan. but this time through Dakota's perspective. In the back, watching on the television, he's just slashed Paulie's face, and we see Sammy Destino promising that he'll protect Maria once again, but this time from Dakota's perspective. And she says, she repeats the line, but to her unborn daughter, who, you know, you see her here, she goes from like having a flat stomach, now she's got a big baby bump. Now she goes looking for a job. She gets a job at a diner. And she's working the job at the diner when this cowboy tries to rob the place. The cops come in and she puts, you know, she's held hostage as he's trying to like rob the register. And he puts the gun to her stomach to threaten her. And then she just like stabs him in the face with a fork. You know, they don't mess with this chick. But all the excitement goes into labor right there in the diner.
All right.
And then this is how Bobby came into life. Little Bobby with an eye. And you see her sort of raise her child. They're at the shooting range. She's practicing her shot. And she's got, you know, Bobby in the stroller with the earplug protectors. And they're feeding him. She's feeding Bobby. And they got, you know, her target practice pinned to the wall next to Bobby's little drawings.
Of the devil.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because she's practicing shooting demons, right?
Yeah.
That's what she's worried about. And then, you know, you got... she's doing pull-ups and push-ups and getting physically fit, and then, you know, with the gun and she's kissing her. So you get the whole backstory, and then you flash forward to tonight. She puts Bobby to bed, and later she comes back with a bottle to feed her, but she's gone. But there's a card with the skull, that's the symbol for the Space Thunder Death Cult. So she knows where to go.
Yeah.
She knows who took her and what to do. It's what she's been waiting for. She's got her bag full of guns and like she's about to go in there and try and kill everybody. But then Sammy Destino shows up. So now we've looped back again to the beginning of issue 4.
Right.
And we find out she was there and hid the whole time that all the fighting and like nailing to the wall took place. And she saw it all. And now we flash forward to current time, 15 minutes to midnight. Or no, excuse me, 15 minutes later, 2 minutes to midnight, and now they got the ritual with all the skulls. They're all in these sort of purple hoods, which are kind of reminiscent of Hate Monger from the Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm. Gee, I wonder who the one in the X is, right?
That's right, yeah. Except for him, he needs to be special, right?
Yeah.
So now they're going to sacrifice her, and they lift up, but the guy who's like wielding the sword has like spikes through his hands, telegraphs, yeah. Instead of, you know, jams him right through the neck. They all pull off their hoods. No, it's like, and she, you know, Dakota gets behind, you know, gets Bobby there and tells her to duck. She's about to shoot. So Dakota shoots up all of the Space Thunder Death Cult members. You know, this is, I got all these sound effects missing for this page, but yeah, he rips off the robe, and this guy's going to fight him. He rips out the sword from the guy's neck, and they go to town, punches him right across the room, smashes into all the skulls. Then Dakota gets Bobby out. It's like, get ready, I'm going to reload, and you get ready to run. And then the guy from before comes up and chokes her, much the same way as we last saw him at the beginning of the book. He was choking the professor, who's the chief of police.
Right.
Maria's father. And then his head just explodes, headshot. And then it's the chief of police, Maria's father, there with the deputies. Now he's got an eye patch and kind of a neck brace.
Yeah.
And we saw him; he was getting choked. So I think like if we kept doing issues of this, he would just get deformed somehow and just show up. Like he get his hand chopped off and just show up with a hook. And
he's in an iron lung, and
that'd be like by issue 10. But yeah, he'd have to pace it out. Like
yeah.
So then he asks, I think Serio is his name or something. You're a eunuch, right? You know, he's basically like, you're a virgin, right? So he chops off his head. You'll do. He got his head there, and he's going to sacrifice Maria, starts doing the ritual.
Yeah, I love this head here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And you got, you know, he's been like very pallid and like no emotion the whole time. Now he's coming to life, and you see the sort of vile and sort of like perversion that he has. He only really like emotes when he's like in the middle of his sacrifice.
Yeah,
we got Kirby tribute page, because why
beautiful.
not? That's turned out really well. That's from the first draft. That's like one of the few pages that made it. Because how can you prove on Jack Kirby?
Yeah, man.
Just took his composition.
Mm-hmm.
So now, he's kind of vanquished that guy. He cries out to Maria, but he's just a little too late.
I love how this blood splatter turns into a skull thing here.
Yeah, the sacrifice is a little
Dang.
anticlimactic, but it's just, you think she's going to, like, do something, slice her head off or something. But no, he just needs a little drop of blood. And then all hell breaks loose.
Literally.
And we have a flashback, kind of a romantic moment. We're going to, like, it's all been like gore and crazy. We got to remind the audience, like, what this book's really about. Like, why is he really trying to save this girl? So we just have a nice romantic moment where they're kind of messing around together. And you see where he promised her that he'd protect her.
Mm-hmm.
And you flash back to present. And she falls into hell, and he's a little too late. And I've redone this page since. And he cries out, Maria, no. And then he sees the villain laughing. Bastards just stabs him right through. He tells him, looks like you and me are going for a little ride. And he jumps right into hell after. And that's the end of volume 1.
Damn.
And it turns out ends on a cliffhanger. So there's going to be a volume 2, which I have to draw.
Now you have to draw it.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No. But yeah, that's it. End of volume 1.
That is fantastic, man.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So let's see here. I know when you did Pissant Apocalypse, you were doing some little like commissions and stuff. Are you doing that for this one as well?
Yeah, I just posted some that I did. I have some.
Well, here's one that I got from you.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I just did Usagi Jimbo piece. Oh, I did this one. This is supposed to be Rainbow from the DNA Agents.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice pin up there.
That's cool.
Yeah. I know it's DNA Agents, so I got like DNA
in
the background. I need something for the background. But yeah, they're turning out pretty now. Well, she's nice and pretty.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I did a Usagi Jimbo piece, but I don't know where that is. So yeah, you can get original artwork like this, like Chris is showing off there, his pig, 3-head pig character.
Yep.
Then if you back a commission tier, I got like a bunch of them. You can get a commission with the trade paperback. You can get a copy of Pissant Apocalypse with it. I got a bunch of zines that you can get. You get reprints of like this prologue zine I did for Tales to Enlighten, Arthur and Boom. This is the first chapter of a book that didn't pan out. Got a collection of my life drawing. This is brand new. You can actually get this as an add-on. I thought maybe some people they backed the Pissant Apocalypse zine tier, so they have all these other zines. So I thought I'd just have it as an add-on so people can get that one. I just announced a stretch goal that when we reach $10,000 Canadian, it will unlock a brand new zine that I just did last month in kind of a manic frenzy. This is a adaptation of a Philip K. Dick story called The Electric Ant. It's about a man who wakes up in a hospital bed having survived a car crash. He's missing an arm. He feels no pain. The doctor comes and tells him that he's actually a robot. And he discovers like he's controlled all of his experiences. Everything he knows is on the little electric tape punch holes on like the cassette deck in his chest. So he starts playing around with it because he thinks he wants to die, but he knows he's probably programmed not to kill himself. So he starts messing around with the tape because he thinks he can influence his reality by influencing what happens to the tape.
Mm-hmm.
Because as far as he knows, his entire reality is on the tape. So if you can alter the reality, that's just as good as altering. Or if you can alter the tape, that's the same thing as altering reality itself from his perspective. It's solicism, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just I read this story one night, and I had like a manic episode where I just saw it all laid out, like it just would work. And so I went through, I copy pasted all the dialogue into these panels and just laid it out like that in one go. And then it sat there for months and months and months till I had time last month to actually illustrate the whole thing.
Awesome.
And I did kind of alter Philip K. Dick's story a little bit. I sort of shortened some scenes and moved some parts around. And I actually changed the ending to tie the ending in with the beginning because I like to do that if I can. But I just give it like kind of a more climactic ending. But hopefully people don't get mad at me for that. But yeah.
Yeah, you
So
busted through that thing.
yeah, and it turned out really well. I'm really happy with it. So like, I'm probably going to, you know, probably going about it wrong. I probably could make more money if I did it differently, but I'm excited for people to read it. I want to get it out to people. So when we hit $10,000 Canadian on the campaign, everybody who has a zine attached to it, you get the add-on of the new drawings, or you get the one of the zine tiers, it should say. You will get a copy of Electric Ant by Philip K. Dick and James Edward Clark added on for free. So
awesome. How far away are you from that?
We're a little shy of 7,500, so we're 3/4 of the way there.
Okay.
Double check right now. I just sold. Did we talk about the piece I just sold? Yeah, I think we did. Like I said,
yeah, you held it up. We talked about it a little bit, but yeah, like, and then you're gonna be adding some on. So like
yeah, we have more work coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we haven't gotten any since we've been talking. Yeah, we're at $7,334 right now.
Okay.
105 backers. 26 days to go. So lots of time.
26 days to go. It's going to get there just fine. So
yeah, it's definitely going to hit there. I think it's probably going to do roughly about the same as the Pissant Apocalypse, kind of on the same trajectory.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping to build on to it. Just get more. Yeah, even if it's a little bit, just a little bit more backers, a little bit more money, just so it's like I can see growth is the thing you want, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And just have realistic expectations on how these things are going to go, especially this economy and everything going on.
Right. So I know that with Pissant Apocalypse, you kind of, if I'm not mistaken, you kind of drew sort of like a panel at a time and pieced it together, right?
Yeah, I kind of do that.
Is that how you did it with this one too?
Yeah, most of my books are just all Frankenstein together. Like you've seen, like all the different drafts I talk about. It's sort of a sickness, especially like, yeah, the way I do it, like I can make changes, so it's, you know, I'll just keep filling with it until it's in print. It's an odd thing where it's like I'll look at the Photoshop files, I'll see all the mistakes and all the things I need to change, but then once it's in print, I'm just kind of shrugs like, is what it is. It's like I can't make any more changes anymore.
Yeah,
it's an odd, it's an odd psychological thing, but yeah. I want to show off like some of these other pieces I got. So I sold this morning, did the news blast on the email chain list, and sold it within minutes. And then, you know, so that seems like a good way to keep the juice of the campaign going. So we got the cover for issue 3. You see how big this is?
Yeah.
Probably going to need to roll this up in a tube and send it out. Probably 2 different pieces, like all the books and everything I owe everybody in a tube.
What kind of paper is that on?
This one's actually on nice thick paper. The other one's kind of a bit thinner.
But something that will unroll.
yeah. It's actually like 2 pieces. I'll have to glue this down a little bit better before I say. Well, it's stapled down too is the other thing. It's got staples and glue. It's a whole mixed media piece right here.
Heck yeah, man.
You can see when we talk about like Frankenstein stuff together, you can really see my process there.
I kind of love that though.
It makes the original pieces very interesting.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and then I got, this is actually the cover for the very first ash can of Evil I ever did. This is just a headpiece. It's a giant Medusa head.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to put this up. This is like almost full-on collage. You can see all the different layers and everything.
And you said that people should sign up to your email list to
yeah, you can message me. You get the email blast. You want to get in there quick because first come, first serve. Only one of these.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you can see. I actually had this up on my wall. I got like little stickers and stuff. I had this up on my wall for years and years, just pinned up there.
I love that on so many levels.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I just dug it out this morning. I wasn't even sure where it was, but I actually had all the covers together, so I found them pretty much right away.
That's awesome, man.
And I got other covers I got to dig out, but they're in like sketchbooks and stuff like that. And
Wow,
I'll take
man.
the pages out and sell those, I guess. But yeah, so we're going to do that. That's one of the things we got going on, selling some original artwork. We've got the commissions you can get, got all the zines, got a lot of stuff people can check out, enjoy. Got a lot of new stuff nobody's ever seen attached to the campaign. Just get in there and get your support.
Love it. All right. I haven't gotten in yet. I've got to get in and get it. I can't, I have a feeling you're going to exceed what you did for Pissant.
Hope so. Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, I just hope it just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. You know, we got to support ourselves on this stuff. So, you know, everybody get out and back this.
Yeah. I'm just hustling, trying to grind and get, the word out and try not to annoy people too bad, like spamming.
Yeah, I know. But the funny thing is that you feel like you're annoying people by talking about it constantly, and then you'll get to the end of the campaign.
It's like the thing is, like, your Instagram stories, your Instagram posts, like people just scroll by that. They like, you think about your habits, like scrolling through, you don't even look at it.
Yeah,
You really do need to keep hitting it, reminding people it's out there. They might enjoy your stuff. They might like your stuff. They might be interested in purchasing it. But they got so much. Everybody's got a crazy life and so much going on these days. You gotta like keep ringing that bell to get through all the noise to like tell people who might be interested.
Yeah, because you're gonna get to the end and you're gonna find a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, I never saw this." It's
exactly.
like, how is it even possible? I hit you with an annoyance level amount of posts, but it happens.
Yeah. Well, they'll make it easy for you with these algorithms either to get to people.
No, they sure don't. I don't even know anything about them. But
yeah.
So I don't know. Can you talk about what you're working on next at all, or?
Well, I'm working with a publisher with Fred Kennedy, who just put out a book called The Dead Romans. We're doing kind of this action comedy parody, kind of the Naked Gun movies are kind of the closest thing it's like. I don't know how much I can get into here, but that's basically it. It's going to be 4 issues. We just started issue 2. I just started thumbnailing it off, like I was showing this piece off.
Yeah, I think you could probably show us.
This is my, this is how my scripts look.
Right.
And stuff down, and then you work it up into thumbnails.
Yeah, your thumbnails are great, man. I love seeing those.
Yeah. These are just like, you can see how super raw they are.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you see you in there.
Yeah, well, it's just the idea is they just need to be legible. Like this is especially when somebody's paying you.
I like putting it like that.
Yeah, like you're just showing people what they're paying for. Like
exactly.
Down the story down as quickly as no thrills as possible. Like there's no one to see these except for the people you're working with.
Right, exactly.
And then it's also like great for me because I work out everything ahead of the time. So now it's just I go in and illustrate the thing. And if you look at the thumbnails from the last issue with the pages I produced, they're very close, actually.
Right. That's amazing. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, where can people find you? I'll put the links to everything, but where else can people find you on the internet?
Instagram's like my main site that I use. James_Edward_Clark. You can check out the campaign, Evil Comics on Kickstarter. I'm on some other social media that I don't really use very much, but yeah, just check me out. And I got the link tree and everything. Just hit me up. You ever want commissions? You want to check out any of my books? Just message me. I can hook you up.
Awesome, James, man. Thanks again for coming on the second time. I feel very lucky and privileged to have a chance to help you get this further along.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on and having this platform. Try to boost people.
Anytime, man.
God's work.
What's that?
Doing God's work, sir. Trying to get the word out about this stuff.
Nobody gets there alone, so I just figured I'd make this little thing so that I could help people as much as I can, because plenty of people helped me along the way. So
I really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. All right, we'll talk to you later, man.
Good night.
Later. Join my Patreon to see my work before anyone else, plus score physical sketchbooks, mini comics, and commissions delivered right to your door, and reading my new books, Something Seems Off and Three-Headed Pigman, as they are made. Go to my website to order original art, commissions, and my books, Lost Angels, Spectral: A Showcase of Fear, Chaotic Neutral, and more. Gray Matter Drip, The Art of Chris Anderson, is available now from Cosmic Lion Productions. Here are the upcoming conventions I'll be at the time of this recording. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. It helps spread the word. Thanks.